Hey, just want to thank you for watching our channel. Please hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, so a year ago, I was in a video game design and I was doing coding and I absolutely hated that class. I was failing it and I was like, yeah, that was a rough time.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like, I know I can learn it, but this professor, he's not doing it for me. And I just really, like, I'm not doing, like, I'm not feeling it. So I need to leave. So I decided that I was going to try to switch majors, but I didn't know to what. So I was at this place where I was like, God, my entire life, I thought I was going to follow this one route. And now that I'm almost on track to doing that, it just doesn't feel right. Like, this doesn't feel like what I'm supposed to be doing. So Lord, what is it? I thought I was doing this my whole life. Yeah. And for that to suddenly come crashing down, I was like, I don't know what to do. And at that same time, we just so happened to go on spring break to the Dominican Republic for the first time. And my mom, the second she heard mission trip to Dominican Republic, she signed us up immediately. She actually got up in the middle of the service and wrote our names down.
Because you guys are from there.
Yes, we're Dominican. Okay. So it was so funny to see her do that. So the organization was called Time Missions. And their goals are to build churches in communities, but not only build communities because they want a pastor to them. So they go to communities that they find that they need a place to worship, and then they'll go minister to those people throughout the week, or at least an area nearby, and then invite them to the church that we built. And then throughout the week, we will build panels, like door panels, wall panels, window panels, trusses, roofs. So we built all that from just wood and metal sheets. Everything was hand done. We had these templates that we would use to build all of them. And throughout the week, we would assemble them. And then on the second to last day, normally, we would actually load up, or the third to last day, we would load up all of the panels. And then the next morning, we would wake up super early in the morning to go drive to the site, build it, and then pray over it. And give the lock was a symbolism of us giving the pastor the church.
The key.
Yes, the key.
Okay.
And so we give that to them, and then we would go rest up for the next day, and then the group would leave. And then the second day, we went somewhere to minister to kids, and I was like, I didn't know, what are we doing? I thought we were just, guys, why aren't we building churches? Why are we going out? Yeah. And then I realized that we're not only building churches, we're ministering to the kids. And that's when I was like, dang, this is really great. This isn't just building a church. This is ministering. Yeah. And that's where I realized, I was like, I actually enjoy this. Like, this is beneficial for me. Like, I would love to do this again. And I remember telling my dad during one of our Coke breaks, and I was like, man, I would really love to do this for a living, like building like churches or building houses, doing something like that. And my dad goes, CJ, that's general contracting. And I was like, is it really? And he was like, yes. And I was like, oh, then I want to do that. That's what I want to do. And so that's what actually set me on the path that I am now. Wow. And ever since then, I was like, dang, I really enjoyed being there. Not only was it full of Dominicans, like it was also like everyone there was so kind, so loving, so full of the spirit. Yeah. And I was like, man, I would love to come back here with the church. I remember when we came back, I asked you, I think, I was like, oh, Pastor, are we going to come back here next year? Yeah. And you're like, I really don't know what to tell you. And
I really didn't know.
So I was like, oh, I'm so excited. And then, so that's how I got introduced the first time.
So you're telling me that on this mission trip, you felt like the mission that you were doing for the people made you change your career. And that's a big step, man. That's a big deal. Like, imagine your life right now if you hadn't taken that trip. And so I think sometimes we miss those little things that God does in our lives. And I think when we pay attention to where God is at work, and when we are open, like you were open and willing to go, maybe you didn't sign up yourself, your mom might have signed you up for it, but it exposed you to something that you probably weren't aware of. And when you saw that happen, man, that changed your life, that impacted you. And it brought about a passion that you didn't realize you had. And so that's interesting, man. That's cool.